Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to National Mineral Development Corporation Limited Q3 FY24 Earnings Conference Call hosted by ICICI Securities. As a reminder, all participant line will be in listen-only mode and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touch-tone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Amit Dixit from ICICI Securities. Thank you and over to you, sir.
Thanks, Riya. Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining the call today. At the outset, I would like to thank the NMDC management for giving us an opportunity to host this call. From the management, we have today Mr. Amitabh Mukherjee, Chairman cum Managing Director, Additional Charge, and Director Finance. Without much ado, I would invite Mr. Mukherjee for opening remarks, post which we will open the floor for an interactive Q&A session. Over to you, sir.
Good morning. Good morning and thank you for joining. I hope I'm audible and clear.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So, it's been a good quarter for us. Again, best since inception quarter. Each month has been best and over a 9-month period, we have grown our production by 19%, sales by 24%. Our turnover has grown by around 25%. And the best thing about the growth in turnover is that it is completely volume driven. Because if you see a 9-month realization of the average 9-month realization, it is almost the same. It is hardly there's any change on that. So this entire 25% of turnover growth is volume driven, which is rather encouraging. We have also been, things also look pretty good in the days to come. January was the best ever. As you know, we have declared we are doing well in February as well. And the prices have also kept, is on the buoyancy. There is a buoyancy in prices, so that's good for us. So overall, I think the scenario is pretty encouraging. Going forward, of course, as I have already said earlier also that we have huge plans for expansion in terms of both production growth and to achieve higher dispatches and distribution. So I think so far as we are concerned, we are committed to deliver unmatched performance, continue to deliver unmatched performance. So with that, I would ask for the questions, please.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on the touch-tone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handset while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to ensure that management is able to address questions from all participants in the conference, please limit your question to only 2 questions per participant. Should have a follow-up question, we request you to rejoin the queue. First question is from the line of Alok Deora from Motilal Oswal. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Good morning and congratulations on very good numbers. So just, sir, our volumes have grown pretty well in terms of dispatches particularly. So this year we had earlier guided for around 47 million tons of volumes for the full year. So any change in that number or we would largely be meeting that number? Any comment on that? And also the volumes for next year, sir.
We will be very close to that volume. Whether we will touch 46.7 or not is a question. But we'll be very, very close to that. We might exceed it by a couple of tons, might fail to reach it by a couple of tons. 46 plus is something that around 47 we are still targeting. The main problem is that the Kumaraswamy enhancement has still not come through. We are waiting every day. So it is with CEC and with the SEC. Even it comes within the next 3 or 4 days, we should be able to do 1 million ton out of that additional, and then 47 would be comfortable. But if every day it gets delayed, I lose around 20,000-30,000 of that, because as you know, Kumaraswamy is now closed because we have already touched 7 million ton, and we can do no production from there. So if that comes, then 47 is a done thing. If that is delayed, then it will be a tough call, but then we are trying to get to 47 even without that. But that will be a really tough call. We had actually factored in 2 million tons out of there, but now that it has not come, I think at best what we can hope for, even if it comes in the next 3-4 days, is to do about 1 million out of there. So next year guidance would definitely be 50, because Kumaraswamy would definitely be there for 2 or 2 plus, additional 2 from what we do. Let us say we are doing around 47, so Kumaraswamy itself will give us 2, and then RWLS, which enhanced dispatch from Kirandul, will ensure that we can do 1 or 2 extra there. And we have got the 5th line also now commissioned in Bacheli, so that would for the entire year should give us 2. So we should be able to do at least 3 or 4 extra from what we do this year. So 50, 51 should be our next year's guidance. If things go right, if one more project comes on, then it should be around 53. But 50, 51 should be comfortable ask next year.
Sure. Thanks for the detailed answer on that. And we have taken price hikes in this quarter. So how do we see the pricing ahead now for iron ore?
I think we have, in terms of pricing hike, we are fairly comfortable. There could be minor adjustment this side or that, a little on the upside, a little on the downside. But largely, I think prices look fairly stable. A minor adjustment on the downside or on the upside could be there. A couple of hundred this side, that side, for a few products, not all. But it looks fairly stable and fairly optimistic right now.
Got it, sir. Yeah, that's all from my side. Thank you and all the best, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Kirtan Mehta from BOB Capital Markets. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir, for the great set of numbers and this opportunity for question. In terms of previously you had mentioned that we have a constraint in terms of the EC limit around 52 million ton, but you mentioned that if one more project can come through, then we can go to 53 MT. So do we have some flexibility in the EC limit?
Yeah, no, we have applied. You see, now the rules allow you for around, I think 10% increase if you apply without public hearing. So we have applied for deposit 5 also, or deposit 13 also. We have applied for many of these deposits to have an enhanced capacity. So if some of them come through, then we should be able to produce that.
Right.
Previously, only for 5-star mines. In any case, our deposit 5 and most of our mines are 5-star mines. That was allowed for a 10% enhancement on application basis. So we made those applications.
How long does this process take for the enhancement without the public hearing?
Around 6 months.
So technically we can go up to 55 million ton or so with this 10% enhancements?
Yeah, not of mines, because we have applied for certain mines even more than that, so that there will be a public hearing. For example, deposit 14 and in 11C, we have applied for a increase by more than 5 million tons, so that will have a public hearing just about a year's time. But deposit 5, where we have not applied for a bigger enhancement. We have applied for a normal 10% enhancement. So it's a mix and match for all sorts of things. So to that extent, factoring that in, I'm saying if the things go right, we should be doing 53 next year, 52, 53 next year.
Understood, sir. And in terms of could you also elaborate on the project progress on the other projects like slurry pipeline, coal block, as well as our new international mines venture?
Yeah, let's talk about the slurry pipeline first. Of course, slurry pipeline is progressing. The pipeline, etc., has been progressing fairly at a faster pace. Most of the right of ways where there was a problem has been solved, except for 2 villages. So out of 131 kilometers, except for 2 villages, I think all the approvals, etc., are there, and the work is progressing. On the pellet plant at the tail end, obviously, we had actually we were trying to redesign the pellet plant by making. We wanted instead of a 2 million ton pellet plant, it should be extendable to 6 million ton, and so there is some common sizing being done. So that is almost that part of the decision is almost done. So we should see a very smooth progress in the pellet plant at the tail end very fast. And similarly, at the head end, you have this beneficiation plant, which again has been, we were going slow for again common sizing it to 6 million ton, but enhanceable to 6 million ton and hence common sizing of equipments. So that exercise is also almost over. So next year we should see huge progress in both these beneficiation plant at Bacheli and the pellet plant at Nagarnar move along in tandem with the slurry pipeline. We hope by 25 end we would be able to get that commissioned fully. So that's our current outlook. 25 end, I think financial year 25 we should be hopefully almost there. Regarding the coal block, we had requested the ministry for grant us to acquire land on the CBA route, the Coal Bearing Act route. So apparently there were some apprehensions that it cannot be done. But I am very, very hopeful that the necessary approvals will come under the CBA Act, which will drastically reduce our time for execution. If it comes through CBA Act, then we should be good to go by early FY26. In around 16 to 18 months' time, we should be able to start mining in Topi soon. And of course, the Rohana also we are pursuing. Rohana, there is no problem of CBA approval, Coal Bearing Act approval. So that would be expedited once the PFR is made and all this. Our Australia operations, as you know, have already started. We have started mining through Legacy gold mine there. We have started, this is our first mine. We are gaining experience that we plan to invest more money to get the exploration in the other tenements at a faster rate so that we are able to mine the others if possible within the next 18 to 24 months.
Thank you for this color. Just one more question in terms of the NMDC steel plant as well. Would you sort of highlight the current progress and time it will take to stabilize operations?
Well, if you see the production of January of about 1 lakh ton is exactly, we did around 97,000 or 98,000 of HR coil, which is almost 50%, 60% higher than our previous month of around 65,000 to 66,000. So we are in the process of stabilizing it. We are in the first 4 months we had done around 2 lakh tons of HR coil, which in January itself we did 1 lakh. So that procedure that is being done. So once we are able to roll around 5,000 or we have touched the 1 lakh mark. Once we touch the 1.5 lakh, 1.6 lakh mark, I think the company will turn profitable by that time. All we have to do is ensure that the production goes up to 100, from the current 1 lakh ton that we achieved in January to around 1.5, 1.6 lakh tons. So that would be around 66-70% and we will break even by that time. Of course, we'll have to ramp it up even higher. But yes, there are constraints in terms of rake movement. The Y line is not ready. So, and there are other constraints, but then we'll have to just solve each of them as we go ahead.
Thank you. Thanks for the detailed answers. I'll get back in the queue.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Siddharth Gadekar from Equirus Securities. Please go ahead.
Hello. Hi, sir. Sir, in a recent interview, you had highlighted that beyond 53 million tons, it would take us 3-4 years for the incremental volumes to come in. So beyond FY25, then we would not see any volume growth till FY28. Is that a fair understanding?
Yeah, because most of these are major project based. You see, let us take, for example, why do I say that? Because if you see, let us take deposit 11C and deposit 14 and 11C. So we expect another 5 million ton coming from that. Right? So that is dependent on the project that is being now currently being tendered. So that will take around 3 years to get executed. So there are a lot of projects which have similar sort of an execution time, which will give us major volume growth. Of course, 1 million ton, 2 million ton here and there, we can obviously go up to 52, 53, maybe even 55 by sort of debottlenecking and flogging the existing system, subject to getting the enhanced EC limits. But the major things will come in when the projects that we are planning now are executed. So they will give us quantum jumps of 5 million ton, 10 million ton each. So that is what I say that the main, and it will be a one-time certain big jump around 28, 29. If we are able to award all the projects this financial year, in the next financial year, then another 3 years to execute. So that is the timeline that I see.
So it is fair to assume that 26 to 29, 28 at least there will be very minimal volume growth, and then 29 we will see a very sharp jump in volumes?
Yeah.
Okay. So got it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Pallav Agarwal from Antique Stock Broking Limited. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good morning, sir. So, you'd mentioned on the ramp-up of NMDC Steel, so in terms of the coil production, so is the blast furnace also, production in sync with the HR coils, or the blast furnace is taking more time?
No, the blast furnace is perfectly okay. I can run it to 10,000 tomorrow. There's absolutely no problem. We have run the blast furnace to 7,000, 8,000 on a particular day, on a few days. There's absolutely no problem with the blast furnace. The problem is doing the mills. If I can roll the coils to around 5,000 to 6,000 tons a day, which is around 1,60,000 to 80,000 a month, then I can back-to-back, you see, 6,000 of coil means around another 1,000 for pig, 2,000 for pig casting. So it's 8,000 of hot metal around, so I can take it out. I can take my blast furnace up to 12,000. Blast furnace is not a problem.
Okay, so we don't intend to produce pig iron and sell it externally. It's like going to be consumed internally only.
No, we are selling pig iron. We will have to sell pig iron because the more the capacity the blast furnace runs, the lesser is the cost of hot metal. So if you are running it at 8,000, 10,000, your cost of hot metal comes down. So naturally, even if I have to do 2,000 of pigging, I think that makes sense when the blast furnace ramp up is done. And that will all depend on the coil pulling capacity that we have.
Sure, sir. So I mean, our iron ore say that arm's length to NMDC Steel, so that would keep increasing with the blast furnace production, right? So how much of additional volumes, let's say, has in this quarter probably would have come from sales to NMDC Steel?
NMDC Steel, the export of the sales, I think it's around 300 crores or something like that. Last 4 months, I think we have sold 500 something crores. Last 4.5 months up to January end, December end, we have sold 555 crores or I think that's the odd figures.
Okay, sure. So also, have you received any more, of the refund from that Supreme Court order on that Karnataka?
Now, we have requested the Supreme Court. Out of 2,000, we've got 1,000 and 1,000 is still due. 1,800 is still due out of 3,000.
1,800 crores you still have to receive, sir?
Yeah, out of 2,900, we have received about 1,000 crores. Another 1,800 crores you have to receive.
Yeah, and this is excluding the 2,200 crores of that we have advanced to NMDC Steel. So that also probably at some point of time, once the company turns profitable.
Yeah, that's around 22,000 crores. So that obviously will come back to us.
Sure, sir. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Shweta Dikshit from Systematics Group. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Sir, could you guide the capex number for the next 2 years, FY25 and 26, and what is the net debt level as of December? And lastly, what is the CWIP currently?
So the net debt level is obviously for NMDC it is nil. We have not taken any debt to finance any of our phase. So that's one thing. The current year guidance is, of course, we'll do around 1,750 to 1,800 crores for NMDC. And we are on target. We have already spent around 1,500 crores by end of January. Another 200-300 crores to go, so we should be able to do that. Next year would also be around the same 2,100 mark. And going forward, there would be some major jumps around that. Next year it will be basically against existing project sanctions. So next year I think it will be around 2004 mark. And the current CWIP is at around 2,900 crores. That's 2,880 crores. So that's around 2,900 crores.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Ashish Shri Kumar, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Congratulations on a great set of numbers. I have two questions to just quickly ask them. One is, you had mentioned about the expansion plans, so if you could just elaborate slightly on that. And the last question would be on what is the current capacity at which we are functioning in the deposit 5 range?
Beg your pardon, I didn't understand the last part of your question.
The last question I had asked was, what is the capacity we are functioning at the moment in the Bacheli mines? Deposit 5, yeah?
Deposit 5, I think it is the EC is 10 million ton. Just check, I think the EC is 10 million ton and we are doing 10 million ton. So if it goes by, we have applied for 12 million ton EC. I think if we get that, that will be there. I'll just confirm the numbers of that, but I think if my memory serves me right, that is what we have done. We are now almost, the current EC is of course 51 and we have reached around 46, 47. But we are restrained by the plant capacity. So obviously, the first time we get the plants refurbished or new plants in there. So Kirandul this year is expected to do around 16.5 to 17 million ton. And so is Bacheli is supposed to do around 16.5 to 17 million ton. So that is what we are hoping that we'll achieve.
Okay, and EC clearance technically takes 6 months that you had already mentioned.
If there is no public hearing.
Okay.
So, but there are some where we are asking for a huge increase. Bacheli, Kirandul is supposed to go up to from the current 16 million ton of EC to, we have asked for, I think, up to 30 million ton, all the mines taken together. So that is the process that includes, that needs public hearing. and that needs huge capex too. And deposit 5, as you said, is the EC is 10, and we also produced 10 million tons.
Okay. And sir, the first question on the plans of expansion, if you could just elaborate on that.
Yeah, Kirandul, from the current 19, we expect to go up to 30-35. So the plans are being made in two of the mines. I think we have tendered out the project of new crushing plant and all those things. So that should give us another 5-6 million tons. The SP3, that is the screening plant third, which is being executed by LNT. It's slightly delayed, but that has a capacity of around 12 million tons. So Kirandul, by another 4-5 years, we should be able to do 30-35 million tons of Kirandul. And from Bacheli also, we have not tendered out anything much, except that we have just completed the additional 2 million ton screening line around a month back, which is under stabilization now. So even in Bacheli, from the current 18.8 million ton of EC, we would expect to go up to 30-35. Most of the production enhancement projects are being designed right now for Bacheli. They have not been tendered out, but for Kirandul, most of them, at least two of them have been tendered out, and one of them is under execution.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you. That's all from my side. Yeah.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Ashish Kejriwal from Nuvama Wealth Management. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Thanks for the opportunity. So my question is on Karnataka mines. One of your competitor, obviously, they used to export also and earning much more than what they can sell in the domestic market. So any thought process that we can also start exporting at least from Karnataka?
Because we mostly sell about 60%, 58%. So the export would attract a duty of 30%. And because of that, we have seen that our net domestic realization is generally more than the generally more than our export realization.
So do you think that even at $130-$135 per ton, our net domestic realization is higher than export realization?
Yes, yes, it has been even at $200. Because when you do a net back, you also have to pay port charges. You also have to factor in the royalty and DMS, which accounts for almost 20-21%, and then you have to account for freight, which is again 1,400-1,500 rupees.
Yeah.
So if you do a net back at mine head, very few times there is an economic justification of export. Yes, there is a strategic of export, because when you go to 100 million tons, you would require to have access to international markets as well, for which, of course, to be present on a long-term basis. You cannot be a fly-by-night operator there. But that is an aspect that we are looking at in terms of our expansion plan, not in terms of an immediate sort of a thing.
Okay. So that means at least for next 2 years, we are not looking export as an option.
We are sort of exploring the market, see if there is a strategic tie-up is possible with something. Then it's a different case. But there's no economic case. We'll have to take a sort of margin hit to do that. But when should we start it is a question that is being debated right now, and we should have a fund. Of course, at 100 million ton, you deserve one. You have to have one. But when you start one,
is it possible to share cash and cash equivalent at third quarter end?
Yeah, cash was at, I'll just give you, net cash was around 11,500 crores.
Okay. And so lastly, about this lithium and other rare earth minerals, last time we discussed that, if we get an opportunity, maybe we can look into it. So what's the status now? Are we going for any auctions in that in India?
It will not apply for the auction route. In fact, we are looking at lithium beyond the border. Even in Australia, some of the working mines we are negotiating with them for some equity stake or some offtake agreement. Our own tenement of Mount Bevet lies in a very lithium-rich area where there are working mines just above our tenement and just below our tenement. So we are doing our PFS along our people, along with our partners. And we are looking at all the other countries that can offer us opportunity for lithium. So we are not close. We are exploring the international market for the right opportunity.
Sure. Last question is, this 252 crore which we have to pay for this Donimalai iron ore mine, means, is it possible to elaborate it further why it happens? Because this mine has been there for long, and what additional we have taken so that we have to pay at least penal charges and interest. What is on account of that?
Yeah, it's a very unfortunate thing that happened. You see, we had built our facilities in 1977. Excuse me. There are a lot of plants and conveyors that were built in 1977. And the Forest Act came into came into force 1980. Right? So we built this before the Forest Act came. And then every thought there was a violation of the Forest Act with retrospective effect. So now, then we wanted something extra done. Then it was found out about 4 years back. So original you don't have the forest clearance and all those things.
Okay.
So naturally, we had to pay the penalty, but we couldn't have done this because this was at 1980. The Forest Act came and we had built this in 1977. So it was because we wanted to add to the facilities. It was known that we don't have our original old facilities that themselves are sort of violating the rules. And so if you see the actual amount of NPV paid is only 30-31 crores which has been capitalized. The rest 2 crores is basically a penalty of around 60 crores and 180 crores is interest on penalty. So it's a very unfortunate thing, and we have to take a massive hit in the Q3. Thankfully, our numbers were good enough to sort of drop that. But since we need to expand also, we needed the clearance. So, in the long-term interest of the company, so this was the only thing that we could do.
Sure, sir. Sure. Thank you and all the best, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Rashi from Citigroup. Please go ahead.
Thank you. So just on the, on your volume breakdown, the 37 million tons that you've done until January, could you just break it down, from at least your top 3 or 4 clients, or rough idea?
Yeah, the standard is RINL, JSW, and AMNS. So they account for around 70 to 72% of our sales, and that trend has remained.
Okay, and so that is continuing.
AMNS we have sold around 18 million tons, RINL 15. Percentage is right now JSW is 28%, RINL is 15%, and AMNS is around 18% of the same.
15, 18, and 38, you said, right?
28. 18, 15, and 28.
Okay, thank you. And then on NMDC Steel, anything around the plans to divest, the government divestment plan?
I have no visibility on that because we are just too concerned about ramping up the production right now. Of course, when it was being driven, it is being driven by DIPAM and not by us. We were aware that there's a huge amount of interest in that, Very special interest, and rightly so. It is a state-of-the-art plant. So once and when and if it is sold, so there will be naturally a huge amount of interest. There was a lot of interest, but then we've been completely bogged down with improving that. And in any case, the government is running that process. And right now, we don't have much to do with it.
Got it. And just last question, I think just a follow-up on one of the previous questions. So for next year, the volumes you're expecting to be around 51 million tons, and then kind of remaining sort of steady state for the course of the next 2-3 years, right? Until FY29.
Yeah, around, if we get that, I would make it around 53-55. That's a little stability on that, 55. As and when the projects come in, then there will be a quantum jump.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Mohammed Farooq from Pearl Capital. Please go ahead.
Good morning, sir. Good morning and congratulations for the good results. My question is, China produces 60% of world steel and consumes almost 50% of both steel and iron ore. Now, with China's largest real estate firm declaring bankruptcy, do you anticipate significant headwinds ahead? Or do you expect China to flood global market with steel products? In this case, how do you justify thousands of crores spent on capital expenditure in this scenario?
Chinese imports at times have been a cause of concern in India. That's obviously there. But then our producers have survived, and I think if you see the Indian consumption scenario, it is very, very, very encouraging. So we are right now at around 175-80 kilograms per person consumption, up from 168 around a few years back. But right now we are at around 180. We are supposed to go up to 262 in the next 5-7 years. So there's a huge demand, and infrastructure is going to drive it, and you have such very pinpointed infrastructure like Har Ghar Nal, and which is all consumption of steel. Then you have the road infrastructure, the Sagar Mala, and which in the next 5 years only these flagship ones, including the Prime Minister's Awas Yojana, which is almost 3 crore houses. So if you name the flagship, the 7-8 flagship, that itself is going to consume around 100 million ton in the next 5 to 6 years. So I don't think from the consumption point that there's going to be any lack of demand in India. Obviously, the Chinese imports have been a cause of concern, but most of it has not lasted for more than some time. So that's
okay. Yeah. What do you think about China can dump in the world market the steel products? That part.
Yeah. We thinking about crossing the bridge when we get to the river. Right now, it's a hypothetical question because there have been times where even anti-dumping duties have been imposed. Whether it is a case now or in future, you'll have to think about crossing the bridge when you get to the river, not now. At that time. But yes,
Got it. So, second question on the steel. Could you please provide information on the average price realization per ton in the current market and what level you expect in the near future for the steel?
The current realization per ton of HRC has been around, if I correctly say, it's around 51,000 something. 51,000 something, if I remember it correctly. Just a second. It's around 51,200 rupees, 51,150 rupees. This is obviously for HRC and around 36,500 for the pig iron. Now in HRC is a little, we have to our realization, average realization is lesser than our peers because of two reasons. Number one, that we have a price disadvantage, we have a logistic cost disadvantage of around 2,000 rupees a ton as compared to our peers. So that's something that needs to factor. Also, the site has been producing a lot of, during the experimental thing, we have been producing a lot of things that are not readily marketable. So, 10748, we produced around 30,000 tons, which had to be sold at a little bit of discount. It was silica kiln, aluminum kiln. But we had to produce it because for testing our bills. So right now a lot of products come which are not readily sellable in the market, so we have to liquidate it with some amount of financial incentive. But going forward, when the mill stabilizes, I think our realization would be higher than our peers.
How much do you expect, sir, realization in the near future?
Sir, sorry to interrupt. Could you please return to the question queue as there are several participants waiting?
Okay.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Bhavesh Patel from Patel Investments. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity and congratulations on great set of numbers and wonderful performance. My question is regarding our capex plan for upcoming. Will that come out of our cash balance and the money we make, or do we have any fundraising plans? And that will have any impact on the dividend policies?
No, I think we are right now we have more than adequate cash balance to fund our capex for the next 2-3 years. So I don't think there is any plans to raise capital from the market as of now. We have around 11,000 crores of cash. Next year our capex is around 2,200. Expected to be around 2,200. It will raise to around even if I were to invest 30,000 crores in over course of 5 years. So an average spend of around 5,000 to 6,000 crores a year. I think that's the amount of capex we'll be able to service through our own internal accruals.
Sure, thank you. And again, that will have any impact on the dividend we announced, right?
No, I don't. I think even yesterday we have announced a dividend of 5 rupees 75 paisa. The payout is around 1,680 crores. So we have been consistently paying dividend above 40% every year. So that has been that will cost us 2,200 crores even in future. So I don't think even with the capex of 6,000 to 8,000 crores. And a dividend of, if we keep our dividend at the current levels of 40-45%, I don't think cash would be an issue.
Sure. Thank you and all the very best for the executions for upcoming large plans.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Ritesh Shah from Investec. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi sir. Thanks for the opportunity. So just one question. This is more from a policy standpoint. We were hearing a lot of things around National Mineral Index. Sir, any progress over here?
We have not been asked to participate. We don't have any visibility of that. I am the wrong person to give you an update on that.
Okay. So let me put it the other way around. If the ministry had to do something, they would definitely seek your suggestions. So is there something that which has actually the input that we have given to the ministry?
Not as yet. Nobody has asked us. If I remember, nobody has asked us.
Sure. That's useful, sir. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, due to time constraint, please limit your question to only one question per participant. Should you have a follow-up question, we request you to rejoin the queue. Next question is from the line of Rajesh Bhandari from Nakoda Engineers. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, sir, we were talking about lithium mining and rare earth mining. In India also, we have at Degana and Kashmir. Can't we get it on nomination basis?
No, let us be very clear that NMDC is not interested in rare earth. That's a separate ballgame altogether. So it's a conscious decision that we have said.
And what about lithium, sir?
Yes, lithium is the thing of our. It is something of our interest, but obviously, as of now, I think the government is keen on doing the auction route for lithium. So that's little less.
और सर आपने कहा सर कि फॉरेस्ट के उसमें पेनल्टी लगा था, तो ऑपरेशन तो अभी है अपने कन्वेयर्स वगैरह के सारे सब?
हाँ, ऑपरेशन नहीं रुकते ना।
हाँ, और अभी कंटिन्यू रहेंगे बिकॉज यू हैव ऑलरेडी पेड द पेनल्टी।
हाँ, अरे ये तो ऑपरेशन के साथ तो संबंध ही नहीं था ना। अब हम तो वी वांटेड टू पुट इन अ फ्यू मोर increase few more infrastructure assets there. तब पता चला कि भाई 1977 में आप लगाए थे, 1980 में नया एक्ट आ गई। उसके बाद नया एक्ट हिसाब ना फॉरेस्ट डिपार्टमेंट हमें बताया ना हमने कुछ किया। तो किसी के दिमाग
मेरे को सर एक चीज दिमाग में आया, अपने पास में इतना लैंड है, इतनी जगह है अपने पास,
Rajesh sir, sorry.
So why can't we apply for the solar energy, sir? Hello.
वो तो that will have to take call. That will have to take a call. The only spare land we have is in Balwancha. बाकी कहीं पर land spare नहीं है.
Even जैसे कन्वेयर है ना सर, तो कन्वेयर के सर जैसे जो कन्वेयर गैलरी वगैरह है उसके ऊपर तो सोलर पैनल्स लग सकते हैं, और आपके पास तो ह्यूज कन्वेयर गैलरीज हैं सर।
नहीं, वो that is the difficult thing because that will depend on where the conveyors are situated. There are other things. Just because you have a conveyor does not mean that it can be economically done at an industrial scale. So that's not feasible. We have a piece of land at Parvanta, a huge piece of land. जहाँ पर हमारा SIU था, वहाँ पर देखते हैं क्या होता है।
Okay, thank you sir. Thank you.
Those conveyors have regenerative.
Yeah, I know sir. I know. I am from McNally, Bharat, so I know we have done a lot of job there.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Saket Kapoor from Kapoor Company. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Namaskar Amitabh ji, and thank you for the opportunity. Sir, when we look at our consolidated numbers, there is an increase in other expenses, I think so, to the tune of 20 or some odd crores. If you could explain the reason that has lowered the profit by that equivalent amount. And also on the pellet part, sir, we are losing money on the under the category of pellets with a run rate of now 30-35 crore. So
you are asking about the increase in other expenditure of
when we look at the consolidated numbers, there is an quarterly numbers. Shall I repeat, sir?
Quarterly numbers, I didn't get this. Yes, please.
सर जैसे हम अगर स्टैंड अलोन और कंसोलिडेटेड नंबर्स दोनों देखते हैं, अदर एक्सपेंसेस का नंबर 543 करोड़ का, there is an increase in when we take these
but that is for legacy. जो हमारा ऑस्ट्रेलिया में माइनिंग ऑपरेशन चालू भी है अभी, it is that expenditure.
It is expenditure property to that.
जो 20 करोड़ जो है, that is basically हाँ.
Okay, and there is no income as of now. हाँ sir.
It will start in another 2-3 months. अभी तो पहले तो आपको टॉप प्लेयर निकालना पड़ता है ना
जी,
ओवरबर्डन निकालना पड़ेगा जब when the ore starts coming in only
जी. And sir, on the pellet के जो losses हैं, what should we read into it and how long will this losing trend continue, sir? 30-34 crore का quarterly loss है.
अभी तो वो घट के 9 months में सिर्फ 17 करोड़ की लॉस आ गई है. We have now increased our production up to 2 lakh tons. So
sir, please correct me, sir. For 9 months, the losses in the pellet and other mineral services is to the tune of 104 crore, and quarterly run rate is 33-34 crore. So sir, ये अगर आप इसको विस्तृत बताएं sir.
This pellet only
it is including.
Panna Diamond is 65 crores and Sponge Iron is 11 crores. See, Panna Diamond is, as we know that we have got the EC. We should be able to start it by the end of this month. FIU, so we have to keep that property, so there is no activity at Palwancha. Pellet plant, last 9 months, the losses have come down from the other 58 crores to 17 crores. The good news is that the penalty that we are paying for 250 crores also covers the tailing dam at Donimalai, from where we could not extract the tailings to feed our pellet plant. Now, once we pay that, we will be able to feed the tailings to the pellet plant, and hence the production would go up. We are also contemplating having a partnership with private players to on O&M basis to run the pellet plant, so that on revenue sharing basis. We are exploring that avenue as well. So that should be finalized in another 3 to 6 months.
Okay. So you mentioned Panna Diamond losses at 50 crore?
Yeah.
So that is annual basis or for what period?
For the last 9 months.
9 months. And what steps are we taking to mitigate? I mean, जब हम exploration शुरू करेंगे, that is only answering my previous question.
We are not the EC hearing हो गई है, उसके minutes भी आ गए हैं. It has been put up to the ministry. Once the approval comes in 3 or 4 days, we should be able to do it.
So when you cover the losses, sir, to 50 crore के losses, this will get covered post the mining.
Panna has never been very profitable. Panna has never been very profitable for us. But अभी तो 1 साल से तो waste mining करनी पड़ेगी.
क्या करना?
1 year waste mining.
Waste mining करनी.
After 1 year, so we don't expect any diamond to be found because 1 year to waste mining. Panna has never been a very profitable venture for us, but it is our oldest mine, the only mine, so it is like the diamond on the crown. So it's something that's more than...
It will continue posting that.
Yeah, but not to this extent. Initially, yes. When we do the waste mining, yes. But once we start producing, it will come down drastically, but it will not be a money spinner for us.
Thank you, sir. Thank you and all the best, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Reddepa Gunduluru from Financial Advisors Stock Analyst. Please go ahead.
Yeah, namaste, Chairman sir, Mukherjee sir.
Yes.
And congratulations for the wonderful figure within quarter, sir. 62.6% is jump, and also dividend.
Thank you.
Wonderful performance,
Thank
sir.
you.
Here my question is, sir, what is the progress of our legacy on Australian company, subsidiary company, NMDC Limited? Sir, how much money is being given to legacy iron ore by the way of the investment for the boosting of this company for operation? Here my question is, when will you expect the profit from this company?
Well, the gold project that is already under mining is expected to give us 10 million tons. Is expected to give legacy around 10 to 11 million tons. And if we find more ore, it will only go higher up. But 9 to 10 million ton is this one. But we will have to invest more in exploration. So there are 5 other tenements there of gold close to us, so we can take a call on them simultaneously so that we get the economies of scale. Apart from that, our flagship Mount Bevan, we are tied up with, as you know, Hancock Prospecting, which is one of the largest mining companies of the world. And the PFS of the magnetite project is almost over. In another 2-3 months, the PFS will be over. And the PFS on the lithium state would commence, I think, in another 2 to 3 months, and should be completed in 12 to 18 months.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Sir, NMDC Limited is taking various benefits from us, NMDC Limited. So here question is, when will the money will repay, sir?
What?
We are giving the benefits to the NMDC Steel, sir. NMDC Steel is taking various benefits from us, NMDC Limited. So this, all this is, money will, when will be expected to be paid?
Once it's break even, I think we have already touched the level of 45%. We need to go to 75%. And then the company will be able to generate cash profit, and then we'll be able to start repaying.
Thank you, sir. That is all.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Mayur, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Good morning, sir. For the good set of numbers. Hello?
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. I wanted to ask regarding the mines which we bought. We started a mine in gold mine in Australia. So have the production been started regarding that?
That's exactly what I said. We have already started the mining. And right now, waste mining is being done. And in another month or two, we should be able to hit the ore level. Right now, the waste mining level is being done. So obviously, when you start mining, you have to take off the top there to reach the ore. So in another 1 or 2 months, I think 2 months, we should be able to generate cash flows from our ores.
And last question is regarding sir,
NMDC is already working.
Regarding NMDC Steel, what is the production capacity to get break even?
What
will be the production capacity to get the break even and get the coming on net profits for NMDC Steel?
It should break even at 55%. That's around 5,000 tons of coils per day.
So maybe in Q2. So can that be achievable in Q2 of FY25?
Oh, definitely. In fact, we have achieved it by that level has to be achieved by Q1 of 25.
Congratulations. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, due to time constraint, that was the last question of the day. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Amit Dixit from ICICI Securities. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Yeah, thanks everyone for attending the call this afternoon. I would like to thank the management for sparing their valuable time for interacting with us. I will now invite Mr. Mukherjee for closing remarks. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Amit, and thank you all for listening in and for the great encouragement provided. We hope to continue our good performance not only to Q4 but also to in the coming years. We have major investment plans that we are lining up right now. Most of them are at drawing stage. So in times to come, NMDC and both also NSL would be an exciting thing to keep watch on. And obviously, even we have great hope for our coal ventures in Jharkhand. If the CBA comes through, we should be able to do that fairly quickly. So overall, future looks very bright and encouraging for NMDC. Thank you so much.
Thank you. On behalf of ICICI Securities, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.